You're welcome to my channel, Mindset Academy, where we want to reproduce the given figure that is displayed at the right hand side of the screen using the principles of tangency. The first thing you're going to do, right, is for you to draw your horizontal line this way and your vertical line this way. You can see that this point they meet here, you see, that is this point my arrow is pointing on the screen, the center point. All together. Now from that point, we'll start from the bigger circle outside. If you look at this arrow here, it's telling me that diameter 75, meaning that this bigger circle has diameter of what? 75. And we don't work with diameter when we are dealing with what? Tangency. We only work with what? With radius. So whenever you see any diameter, you have to convert it to radius. And how can you convert diameter to radius? It's by dividing the given figure, the given value by 2. So if I divide 75 by 2, I'm going to be having what? 37.5. Is that okay? So what I will just do here is I'm going to take my meter rule, right? And I'm going to measure 37.5 here from 0. This is 35, 36, 37.5, somewhere around here. All together. So somewhere around there. So when I place it at the center point here, in this manner, right, I am going to be having this way. So this is what we will be having. So let me take that out because it's taken in the question. This is what we have there. Now, the next thing that we have here is the smaller circle we have at the sides, inside. And when we count them, there are how many? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 holes. And from here, we are told that 6 holes have 10 millimeter diameter in dimension. How good now? So each of them have a radius of what? Radius of 10. Since in diameter you divide by 2, like I told you earlier. Now what you will now do in order to get where they are located is to use your compass, right? Place it at this point to this point. You can see that. Then you mark up. You mark up this way, right? And you come here also. You also mark up this way. Hope you can see that. So once you've done that, you will now take your rule, right, and you draw it to the extent that it will pass through the center. You draw a line this way. You come here also. You draw another line this way from that point intersect here. Can you see that? Now, the next thing that I'm going to do here is that where the center of the circle will be placed is located using this center line you see that is like dash that you can see here, and the radius is given to be what? The diameter is going to be what? 50. So you divide 50 by 2 in order to get the radius. So if I divide 50 by 2, I will be having 25. So I am going to measure 25. So from 0, 20, 25. Can you see that? And I will place it at the center point, right? I'll place it at the center point, and I'm going to mark it round this way. Let me first of all use faint line first. I'll mark it round this way. First of all, can you see that? So this is where those points meet. This will be the center of what? Of the circle, right? You ignore the center line here. Is that okay? Now we're told the radius is given to be what? 5, because diameter is 10. So I'll measure radius of 5 in each of those circles from 0, and this is 5. Hope you can see that. And I'll place it at each of those points, and I'll draw the circles. This, right? Leave this center, come here also, place it here. This, right? Then this, also, right? These two, also, right? Then this two, then this also, right? So I'll taking them out this way. So that is the 6 circles that we have there, taking them out. So now I can now bring out the ought to be hidden line. So I can start from here on that line, a long one, short one, long, short, long, short, long, right, short, long, short, long, short, just like that. Use your compass. That's what we'll be having there, hidden line. Is that okay? Now, the next thing that we will be having, so we successfully drawn out this circular point. So one thing we'll do is for we to draw our center line here to show it is symmetrical. A long one, short one, long. Can you see that? And here also 2. Hope you can see that. Now aside from that, there's another circle at the center here, as you can see. And that circle has a diameter of what? 30. So I'll use the radius, which is what? 15. So take my meter rule and I'll measure 15 from 0 to there is 15. Then I'll place it here, right? Where I'm going to draw this circle. Hope you can see that, and I'm going to thicken it out. Hope you can see that. So we've successfully drawn that out. Now the next thing is we'll come straight down to this other center here, this line you're seeing here. So from this center to that center is going to be what? 80. So measure 80 from this center downward, right? So let's measure the 80 from the center here downward. From 0 to 8 here is 80, right? So it will be from that point that I'm going to draw a line first of all, this way. Now from this center of this circle to the center of the circle is going to be what? 80 what? 86. So I'm going to measure 86 from here. So take half of 86, which will be 43. So measure 43 to the left and also measure 43 to the right. Hope you can see that this is 43 here and it's also 43 here. So on that point will be a center of a circle. let me just come here and draw the center of the circle here. Long, short, long, short, long, short, long. Can you see that? Then here also I'll come here, I'll do the same thing too. Long, short, long, short, long, short, long. So let's extend this a little bit. Now, similarly, I'll do here also this way too. Long, short, long, short, long, short, long, long, short, long, short, long, short, long. Hope you can see that. So that's the two center of the circle. Now, the radius of, let's start from the outside in. The radius of the bigger circle is given to be 20, as you can see. So I am going to measure radius of 20 on my meter rule from 0 to 20, right? And I will place it on this point here. Then I am going to draw just this to this point. Have it in mind that it's actually a complete circle, but I only need just the semicircle of it here. Then I'll come here too, I'll do the same thing too. At this point, it's only a complete circle, but I need the semicircle of it. So I can just thicken from here to here. Right? And I'll thicken the rest here. This line here, I'll thicken it out. Can you see that? Now I'll now use and join, as you can see on the diagram, these two ends are joined. So I'll just draw a faint line first. Right? They are meeting here. This point they are meeting is this point you can see. And the thickness between this point to this point is 25. So I need half of it, 12.5. So I'll put my circle or use your compass and you measure 12.5. This is 0, 10, 11, 12.5 to the right and 12.5 to the left. Can you see that? Or you can just use your compass. You place it, you measure 12.5 to the right, and you take it to the left also. And you're going to take it up this way. You take it up this way from this point, up, and from this point, up. Hope you can see that. Now the next thing is that radius, you can see that an arrow pointing here, radius of 5, right? That will give us the fillet. We call it a fillet. So that means another circle is there too. So what I'll do is I'll measure radius of 5 on my meter rule this way. Radius of 5 from 0 to 5. Can you see that? And I'll place it where they meet. So I'll strike an arc on the vertical line. I'll strike also on the horizontal line. I'll come to the point they meet here. I'll strike an arc. I'll come to the point they meet here. I'll strike another arc. So this is where I actually need at this point. That is where I'm focusing on, right? I'll come here too. I'll do the same thing at this point. Place it here. Strike an arc up and horizontally. Where it meets here, I'll strike an arc. And where it meets here, I'll strike another arc. Can you see that? So I'll just take my compass, place it on this point here, where it meets. Then I'm going to draw this. Know in your mind that it's a circle that is there, but you don't have to. I'm just drawing it, but you don't really have to do that. So it is made of what? Circles. Is that okay? I'll come here too. I'll do the same thing here too. So that is the center of the circle. So whenever there's a radius, there will be what can you see that? So I can easily just take in this now. From here, I will have this to this point. From here, this to this point. So this one now you can easily just bring it out. Bring these two. Can you see that? That's not the end. There's another one here touching this. And it looks trickier because this is just two vertical line, vertical and horizontal are meeting, you get the fillet, right? But in this case here now is a circular point. So what you do is the rest of that arc from this side here is the same thing. Since it's symmetrical, if I divide this into two, what I see in my left hand side will be what I see in my right hand side, right? As you can see on the screen. Now, and the radius of this arc here, 10, will also be the same radius here, 10. So what I'll just do is I'll measure 10 away from this circle, from the center of the circle. So from 0 to this point here, this is 10. This is where 10 is. So before I do that, this is what I'm going to do. From the circle, I'll project this point here upward to meet here. So it is meeting at this point. Right? So from that point, that's where I'm going to measure 10 from. So from 10, I'll measure it. This is the 10 here at this point here. Then I'll bring it down vertically down. Is that okay now? Remember that it's the same thing that is here. Here also, since it's symmetrical, I'll do the same thing here too. I'll take it up. So it's touching here. So from this point, I'm going to measure 10 away too from that point. From 0, and this is 10 here. And I'll bring it down this way. So these two lines. So what do you notice? I told you whenever you see an arc going in, that arc you can see now, you see that it is going in, right? It is going what? Going in. Whenever the arc is going in, you're going to add the radius. How good now? So you're going to do what? You add the radius. So since the arc is going in now, so now the arc is touching this bigger circle, and diameter of the circle is what? 75. And I told you we don't operate with diameter, operate with radius. And the divide the 75 by 2, you'll be having a radius of what? Of 37.5. So 37.5 plus the 10 will give you what? 47.5. So you're going to measure 47.5 on your meter rule. 47.5 from 0, this is 40, 45, 46, 47.5, somewhere around here, right? And I will place it at this point here, the center point where they meet. Can you see? And I'll strike an arc where to cut the vertical line. And also the same thing will affect this one too. Cut the vertical line. So this is where both of them are cutting the vertical line that I measured, that vertical line I drew down. So from that point, I'll now take my compass to that point, right? And I'll join this way. And I'll join this way. It must be a fillet, right? You gauge it until you have what you want. You can see that. I'll come here also. I'll do the same thing at this point too. I'll place it here and I'll do the same thing. Can you see that? You move it on the point there, and you're going to be having this. So let me just get it up. Right? So I will have, and I will bring them out so they'll be boldly seen. Then this one too, boldly seen. which I will now take in this to touch this from here, touch this, and from here, touch this. Hope you can see that, right? Now remember, you don't have to do this. This is another circle here. So it is made up of what? Of circles. This is another circle here. Hope you can see that. So we'll move forward. Now the next one is there's a circle in here, right? And the circle is from here is telling us two holes diameter 20. So that means I need radius of 10 to get those two circles. So I'm going to measure the radius of 10. From 0 to 10 to 1 is 10. And I'll place it here. And I'll draw my circle. I'll come here too, I'll do the same thing. Right? Which I'll taken out. Hope you can see that. And the next one we are going to do is you can discover that there's another circle going in, an arc going in here. I told you whenever it's going in, you're going to add what? The radius. So this is what I'll do here. The arc that is going in is 50. That is the bigger radius. Get the logic? That is what? The bigger radius. While the other two circles that the arc is touching is this circle and that circle. So you're going to add. So if I'm considering this one now, the rest of this circle here that is touching, the reason that is touching this circle, the arc, is 20. And I will add it to the rest of this bigger arc, which is what? 50. So 20 plus 50 is 70. So I'm going to measure 70 on my meter rule this way. 0 to 7 is 70. Can you see that? And I'll come to this point. I'll place it here. I'll strike an arc. Hope you can see that. I'll strike what? I'll strike an arc. And similarly, for the other one, this other one, the radius of this circle, since diameter is 75, the rest is what? At 7.5. The 7.5 plus 50. Are you with me now? That's 7.5 here plus 50. That will give me 87.5. Is that okay now? So I'm going to measure 87.5 on my meter rule this way. From 0, this is 80, 85, 86, 87.5 here. Right? And I'll place it at this point, and I'll check another arc here. So that is where we are meeting at this point. So that point is where I will now place my compass from this point here, and I'll take it to be at this point here, ensure that it is tangential. Then I'm going to draw. Now what do you notice? Sometimes you might be having error due to parallax when you're taking readings measuring from the compass to your rule, and you'll be expecting that when you do your measurement, this guy have to just fit in perfectly. But what do you notice? It is not cutting, and when it cuts this way, that is not tangential. So look at what I'm doing now. I intentionally make this mistake here. It's not really a mistake, so that you see that most of you will get tangled in this part here, whereby you want to join the two arc together, and one of them will be going in. So when it goes in, it's no longer tangential. So what I will do is this. Look at my rule very well. It's going in. So what I have to do is I have to make this to touch here, right? So I will not adjust my compass. What I will do is I'll just move it. What will I move it? I'll move it up this line. Are you with me now? I'm going to move it up this line. Assuming it is above the line, it's not touching, it is here. I'll move it down this line. So if I move it up this line, look at what is happening. If I move it up this line, can you see what's happening? And I'm going to have my line. Hope you can see that. So let me take it out. Hope you can see that. Now aside that, what do you notice? The circle is going is at this point here. Like another circle. Yeah, I'm just doing this just to show you something. Right? Now, if you can see this closely, you see that this is a bigger circle. Is that okay? And the smaller circles, this and this, are at the circumference outside this circle. So you see that they are external. And whenever you have external, you are going to add all together now. So whenever you have external circles, that means the two circles you are considering are outside the bigger circle. You say they are external. In that case, you add. That's why I added. But the best way, one of the ways you can easily remember is that when it is going in this way, you're going to add their radius. You add this and the radius, you slash an arc. You add this and the radius, you slash another arc. Are we together now? So we'll move forward. Now the other one is coming out this way. So okay now, whenever it's coming out, you're going to what? Subtract. Whenever it's going in, you're going to what? Add. I'll explain something to you now. So let's do that first. Let's first of all add these radiuses and see what is going to what is going to happen here. Now, if I should take my meter rule, the arc you can see on the screen is 105. Then the radius here is what? 20. So if you subtract 105 from 20, 20 from 105, you're having what? 85, right? So I subtracted. So I'm going to take my meter rule from 0 to what? To 85. Abi? Yes, 85. Can you see that? And I'll place it at this point. I will not strike opposite it here. I'll strike behind it this way. Can you see that? That is my first arc. Now the other one is the radius of this 37.5. So 105 minus 7.5 will give us what? 68.5. I will now measure 68.5 from 0. This is 60, 65, 66, 67, 68. Is that okay now? And I'll come to this point, center point here, right? And I'll strike another arc. So to cut that line. So where the two arc meet, I'm going to mark it as what? As my point there. Is that okay? So this is where they meet here. So from that point, I'll take my compass, I'll place it here so that it will be tangential to it. To this point. Now what do you notice? If I place it from this point, it ought to just cut straight, right? It ought to what? Cut straight. But look at what is happening. It's not cutting my arc properly. So what I'll do now, what you notice is going in now. In the other case here now, if you make that mistake, since it's cutting in, you took it up, right? But in this case here now, it's cutting in here. Now what will you do on that line, right? You just take it down. That line means you've made some error due to parallax in taking your readings from your meter rule or from the compass to the meter rule. So you just take it down a little bit, right? You take it down a little bit. Okay, I know many of you will encounter this and you feel like, what am I even doing? I've made mistake. So you didn't make any mistake, right? You did not make any mistake. You didn't make any mistake. So you should just join it this way. This is what we have here. So I'm going to thicken it out like this. Hope you can see that, right? So what do you notice here? For educational purpose, since I placed it here to get this arc here, I told you come down a little bit due to that. So I'm having this. So look at this circle. See what I'm actually showing you here. This is a bigger circle. I'm just showing you. Now, this bigger circle, the two smaller circle are inside the bigger circle. They are not outside. If they were outside here, you say it is what? It is external. But because they are inside, you say what is internal. That is why we are subtracting. So when you are given a question and you see that the circles are inside the bigger circle, you know you are going to what? You are going to subtract. But when they are outside the bigger circle, you are going to what? Add. All together. And the best way you can remember is if it's going out, subtract. If it's coming in, add. Is that okay? So the most important thing again you do is your what? Your dimensioning. So it's important to your dimension. So let me just do that and see. And don't forget to like the video, subtract, right? Like the video, subscribe, and also share the video. This is what we have here. So if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and also share the video. Thanks for watching.